We haven't talked about bestiality in a while. We are
Well,
past that part in the Bible.
Did we have to bring it up again?
I don't see why not.
I mean, okay.
My girlfriend actually showed me an article today. It was an entire Tumblr blog page, I know, that was all about this person, and they're trying to explain why it's okay to fuck animals.
We had a similar conversation with a guy in one of our episodes about that, didn't we?
Can I go on record?
Who probably still is not a fan.
I know. I'm going to go on record here. TBR's official stance on bestiality is
don't fuck them.
Don't fuck animals.
Yeah, that's...
Don't put your dick in animals.
Yeah, and I don't care if it's your sexual orientation. Don't fuck
do
'em.
it. Don't fuck an animal. I don't feel like I should have to say it, but apparently I do.
Right. Unless it's a squirrel.
Squirrel?
Yeah.
Squirrels are too small. You're basically just wearing a meat condom. You're gonna wreck their insides.
La 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 la.
Here we go.
It's the Bible reloaded, the magic explosion, like Jesus and Moses, but it's Hugo and Jake. The Bible is jaded, and most of it taken, so get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up you and stop what you're doing. It's Bible reloaded time. They call it debated, the theorists will hate it, like talking to taken, but it's Hugo and Jake. So I'm with the show then, it's not candy coated, it's the Bible reloaded with Hugo and Jake. With Hugo and Jake.
Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is the Bible Reloaded.
And we're sick.
So, last time
We're not going to talk about it?
No, I don't feel like we need to.
We have respiratory issues.
I don't care. That's what happens when you share an apartment. You share germs and saliva.
To be fair, we share a bed.
So, last time we were introduced to Samson.
Yeah.
He's a fucking crazy person.
He is crazy.
He ripped a lion apart with his bare hands.
Die, kitty cat.
Went back and got honey out of the carcass.
I eat your sweet insides.
And fed it to people without telling them it was carcass honey.
It's not creepy.
He then, was captured by Philistines.
Dirty Phillies.
Killed them all with a jawbone.
Jawbone.
And there were lamentations.
Lamentations.
Yeah.
Thank you for your lovely Schwarzenegger interpretation. So today we're getting on to the more famous story of Samson, though. Samson and Delilah. And then maybe some other stuff. I don't know. We're winging this one. So
We wing all of them, to be fair.
let's see how this goes.
If you guys think we write this, you're ridiculous.
So we continue in Judges chapter 16, Samson and Delilah. One day, Samson went to Gaza and was shot immediately due to the political situation in the area. It's a rough place.
The end.
No, but he went to Gaza where he saw a prostitute. Solid. If I went to Gaza, I'd be looking for a
If I had
prostitute.
to choose one of those options, I would choose the second.
He went to spend the night with her. The people of Gaza were told, Samson is here, so they surrounded the place and lay in wait for him all night at the city gate. I'd like to imagine they could hear him, though, still.
Alright,
Like, that's good. They made no move during the night, saying, at dawn, we will kill him.
because bros before hoes.
High five sound effect. But Samson lay there only until the middle of the night. Then he got up and took hold of the doors of the city gate, together with the two posts, and tore them loose, bar and all.
It's a very tiny gate.
He lifted them onto his shoulders and carried them to the top of the hill that faces Hebron, for some reason.
What?
I'm taking this!
It's probably just like one of those tiny gates you keep outside of your garden, when the tomatoes kind of grow on it a little bit. You're like, come here, gate, and you take it because that's what strong guys do. They take things whenever they want them.
Verse 4. Sometime later, he fell in love with a woman in the valley of Sorek whose name was Delilah.
Wait a second. Why are you telling us the prostitute part?
Just so I'd like to think Samson wrote this, and he's like, or no,
I fuck that lady.
I think he shadow wrote it, and he was like, no, but tell him I fucked a prostitute.
I don't want to think I was a virgin.
The rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, see if you can lure him into showing you the secret of his great strength, and how we can overpower him so that we may tie him up and subdue him. Each one of us will give you 1,100 shekels of silver. So the implication earlier with the gate, it's to show among his other feats, like ripping the lion in half and killing all the people with the jaw.
He's strong as shit.
He's super strong.
Right, why the prostitute?
I don't know. Like Herculean strength, basically. You can draw this direct parallels to Hercules or Heracles or any other mythic character that has some sort of super strength that's not exactly rare in mythology. So Delilah said to Samson, "Tell me the secret of your great strength and how you can be tied up and subdued."
Oh, kinky.
That's the most suspicious thing I think I've ever heard a villain say.
So you're wondering how I can be murdered in my sleep?
Pretty much.
Cyanide.
Okay, good to know. Samson answered her,
"If anyone ties me with 7 fresh bowstrings that have not been dried, I'll become as weak as any other man."
How does he know that?
He was never told. Maybe he's tried it himself. He's like,
"What are my limits?"
And he's tried everything up
everything.
until...
8 bowstrings, too strong. 6 bowstrings, too weak. 7, good.
Then the rulers of the Philistines brought her 7 fresh bowstrings that had not been dried, and she tied him with them.
What the fuck? What a weird... Isn't he at all like... Wait, why'd you do that?
He just thinks she's into some weird shit. With men hidden in the room, she called to him, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." But he snapped the bowstrings as easily as a piece of string snaps when it comes close to a flame.
Is that a thing that happens?
I guess. So the secret of his strength was not discovered. So Samson, crafty son of a bitch, made up the thing about the 7 bowstrings. Clearly very specific, so he would know if she tried it on him. At this point, he should probably not trust her, because there's no way they could have known that other than by her, but Samson's a fucking moron, so he's still going to not suspect her.
That ass though.
Then Delilah said to Samson, "You have made a fool of me, you lied to me, come now, tell me how you can be tied."
"Whoa, bitch."
He said,
"If anyone ties me securely with new ropes that have never been used, I'll become as weak as any other man. Also, you have to stick your first knuckle up my anus, and you have to probe for my prostate and tickle it until you milk it."
So Delilah took new ropes and tied him with them. Then, with men hiding in the room, she called to him. How does she keep effectively hiding men in their room? "Samson, the Philistines are upon you."
Again?
And they apparently stepped out from behind their curtains or something. But he snapped the ropes off his arm as if they were threads.
You know what is not happening, though? There's no transitional period where he murders all of them. It's like they're in like a John Woo movie, and they're all just kind of dancing around in the background.
I'd like to think they dance around, and then they kind of run away.
And they kind of like hide back in the shadows like,
"Where did they go?"
Verse 13. Delilah then said to Samson, "All this time you have been making a fool of me and lying to me. Tell me how you can be tied so I can clearly help kill you as I tried these many times." He replied,
"If you weave the 7 braids of my head into the fabric on the loom and tighten it with the pin, I'll become as weak as any other man."
So while he was sleeping, Delilah took the 7 braids of his head, because there were 7 apparently, wove them into the fabric and tightened it with the pin. Again she called to him, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He awoke from his sleep and pulled up the pin and the loom with the fabric.
Oh, so he's got a loom on his hair now?
Yeah. Then she said to him, "How can you say I love you when you won't confide in me and clearly help me murder you? This is the 3rd time you have made a fool of me. All my Philistine friends are laughing and haven't told me the secrets of your great strength." With such nagging, she prodded him day after day until he was sick to death of it.
Wow, this is such a Jewish book.
Yeah. "All my friends know how to kill their husbands. What do I say to them at a bridge meeting?"
Bridge?
Shut up.
Is that what Jews play?
Yeah, shut up.
I think it's just old ladies in general.
If you don't like it, cut
or
it.
cribbage.
Yeah.
No, I'm keeping it. Or hearts. Or rummy.
Okay.
Spoons.
Is it spoon? Are you just naming things now? Is spoons a game?
Spoons is a game.
Okay. I don't.
Euchre for our northern friends.
So he told her everything.
"No razor has ever been used on my head,"
he said,
"because I have been a Nazarite dedicated to God from my mother's womb vagina. If my head was shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as any other ghoulie man.
See, he says that, but he's never told this.
No,
This is a poorly written narrative.
I think
At least with, like, Achilles, you know he was dunked in the river Styx, and his ankle was not. They
Right.
explain his weakness.
that's a weird way to be dipped into a thing, though.
They just
isn't it?
dipped him, they held him by the heel and dipped him into the river
You can't hold
Styx.
someone by a heel. And maybe Zeus. Zeus could do it with his.
It wasn't, it was his
Thumb
mom.
and
It was his mom who dipped him
forefinger.
into the river Styx.
She had a very strong grip.
It wasn't just his, I think it was, I mean, I guess it was the heel, but
It was just the heel and the Achilles.
I guess, I don't know.
We're off topic. Because that's weird.
When Delilah saw that he had told her everything, she sent word to the rulers of the Philistines. Come back once more, he has told me everything. So the rulers of the Philistines returned with the silver in their hands. After putting him to sleep on her lap, she called for someone to shave off the 7 braids of his hair, and so began to subdue him, and his strength left him. Why did he trust her with that information after 4 times she learned information, and that information was immediately, like, the next night used to try and kill him? Is Samson a fucking idiot? Verse 20. Then she called to him, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. He awoke from his sleep and thought,
I'll go out as before and shake myself free.
but he did not know that the Lord had left him.
Shake myself free from nothing, since I'm not bound.
Then the Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and took him down to Gaza. Binding him with bronze shackles, they set him to grinding grain in the prison. But the hair on his head began to grow again after it had been shaved, because hair does that, and the Philistines failed to think about this, apparently.
I thought they were trying to kill him the whole time, and now they settle for eye gouge.
Eye gouge and then forced labor. If this weren't so obviously written, I'd be mad at the people, is all
I
I'm
know,
saying.
right? This next one, spoiler.
The death of Samson. Now the rulers of the Philistines assembled to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon, their lord, to celebrate. Dagon, like the Daedric prince of...
Yes.
Okay.
Just like the Daedric prince in Skyrim.
Okay.
Well,
All of the Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls games.
Saying, our God has delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands, whom we haven't killed. We should probably do that. Nah. When the people saw him, they praised their God, saying, our God has delivered our enemy into our hands, the one who laid waste our land and multiplied our slain.
Multiplied our slain?
No.
That is a sweet way to say kill a bunch of people.
Not accurate, though. He didn't multiply it. He just added one by one by killing people with a donkey jawbone. While they were high in spirits, they shouted, bring out Samson to entertain us. Because blind people are fucking hilarious.
Let's be honest. Most blind people are funny. Blind fans, you're hilarious.
All one of you.
There's probably statistically there's one.
There's
at
one.
least, and we love you. Type something if you can.
If nothing else, you're not the only one who can't see us, so we leveled up the playing field for you. So they called Samson out of the prison, and he performed for them.
What did he perform?
He did all of his lines from Running Man, but with none of the context.
He was Sub-Zero, now he's just plain Zero.
That pun doesn't make sense.
Well, you don't. I'll grow up your woman.
Hey, Benny, screw you.
Running Man. You guys should watch Running Man.
Stick around.
You guys should turn this off and go see Running Man. They gave him really shitty lines because he couldn't speak English really well, and they're all fucking gold. Oh, what a bad, great movie.
I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine!
When they stood him among the pillars, Samson said to the servant who held his hand, please, put me where I can feel the pillars that support the temple so that I may lean against them.
In no way use my super strength to make them crumble, killing everyone.
Now the temple was crowded with men and women. All rulers of the Philistines were there, and on top of the roof there were about 3,000 men and women watching Samson perform. Then Samson prayed to the Lord.
Sovereign Lord, remember me. Please, God, strengthen me just once more, and let me with one blow get revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes. Also, revenge on Danny Glover for taking Predator 2.
Objectively a terrible movie.
Yeah, that's bad.
You know who's in that movie?
Who else?
What's his fucking name? Crazy.
Oh yeah, Nick Nolte.
No, it's not Nick Nolte.
Isn't it
it's
Nick
the other.
Nolte?
It's the other one.
Oh, it's What's his name? His son is in is the smiley one.
He's got a horse face.
Yeah, he's Gary Busey.
Gary Busey's in that movie
With a Hawaiian shirt, right?
and he has like a
he dies
he has
in
a
the
CO2
subway.
weapon or something.
Doesn't he die in the subway?
I don't think it's in the subway. I think they're in a factory.
I don't know.
That is the introduction of the glaive, though, for the Predators.
Yeah, and also Danny Glover gains their respect.
And they give him like an 18th century flintlock pistol for some reason.
And he kind of just... Does he ever leave that ship?
He does. He leaves the ship and they take off and he's like, I'm too old for this shit. But then they're like, no, you can't say that, Danny. That's a different movie. We will get sued. And he goes,
and Danny's
that's all I got.
It's my line. And then he went on to make Saw, which was a good movie that he shouldn't have been allowed in. And then he was the president in 2012. And that was Danny Glover's career.
Oh, how the mediocre have stayed exactly where they are.
That was a good Danny Glover riff.
Yeah.
Good for us.
Then Samson reached towards the two central pillars on which the temple stood, because it's a good idea if you're an engineer or you're an architect.
Just two central pillars.
All the load bearing should be on two pillars that are right next to each other.
Yeah. No flying buttresses.
Nothing.
To be fair, that hadn't been invented yet.
Fuck you, Baroque architecture. Two things.
We're so intelligent, also funny, and charming, and probably good looking. Just take our word for it.
Someone's going to point out that Baroque architecture is stylistic and has nothing to do with the actual...
No, they're not, because you just said it. Fuck them. Fuck you, guy who was thinking that about Baroque architecture.
Bracing himself, it's an aesthetic choice.
Right. Like Rococo.
Yeah. Bracing himself against them, his right hand on one and his left hand on the other. Thanks for the picture. Samson said, let me die with Samson said,
let me die with the Philistines.
Then he pushed with all his might, and down came the temple on the rulers and all the people in it. Thus he killed many more when he died than while he lived.
I'll be back.
No, you won't.
No.
Maybe we'll find a part for you in the New Testament. I don't know. I don't know if the fact that he killed more in his death than in his life is a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know either. That's kind of... Who's done that? Every suicide bomber ever?
Yeah.
Because they died first, right? Technically.
Yeah. If you want to really count that. They have probably 0 deaths on their life. Because if you could kill people while you're alive, you wouldn't be a suicide bomber.
They don't relegate you to the guy that blows up.
Yeah.
You're the sniper.
Verse 31. Then his brothers and his father's whole family went down to get him. They brought him back and buried him between Zorah and Eshtal. In the tomb of Manoah, his father, he had led Israel 20 years.
Anyways, so yeah, it's kind of a short episode as far as content, but we don't want to start another thing when the next episode is just so filled with awfulness and my least favorite part of the Bible that we just can't do it. So I'm going to ask Hugo a random question, and then we'll end the episode.
I don't know what this question is going to be, so I'm interested.
Random question. What is the least good meat to eat?
Bologna.
That's not, no, one meat from one animal.
Bologna is a lunch meat. I'm not saying...
Bologna's the worst meat.
Yes.
Of all meats?
Yes, because it's a mix of the worst of the worst.
Okay, explain yourself. Because there's a correct answer and you got it wrong.
Okay, olive loaf. Olive loaf is my second.
Olive loaf is probably the worst, but that's not a meat. That's just bologna with olives in it.
Yeah, that's what makes it worse.
No.
You took something shit. It's basically, it's hot dog meat in lunch meat form.
Mm-hmm.
And hot dogs are already fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So why is that a good thing? You're saying I like hot...
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just not saying it's the worst.
Okay, what's the worst?
The worst would be preemies.
Preemies?
Yeah.
Or preemies?
Preemies, premature children.
Oh, like babies. Like eating babies.
Right. I'm not going to eat a plump baby, but a preemie's just... That's wasteful.
They look gross.
Just break it in half and let Christopher Reeve suck the stem cells out.
We started playing Rust recently.
Yeah, that's... You guys want to play Rust with us? There's a vetting process. So yeah, if you guys can figure it out, you can play Rust with us.
Yeah.
People who play Rust with us,
Don't tell people how to find us.
No, because it's fun that way. Then you can be like, hey, Jake and Hugo on this server, and if you find us, then you get a win. Get a little win.
Or we'll kill you. I don't care.
Well, I'll probably shoot you on sight. I have things in that game that you can't have.
So, I think that's good for this episode.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can always donate to our Patreon, which we're about halfway to our first goal.
Yeah, you guys are fucking amazing.
Awesome.
Honestly, when we get to our goal, you guys are gonna get some cool shit. Let me tell you. I mean, because we're gonna be able to make this our careers. Well, not careers, but jobs. Pretty shortly here, and that's just an amazing thing, and I can't even explain how awesome that is. There is a thing that is happening, though. Our 100th episode is coming up, not near future, but a few months from now, and we want a thing to happen. We're gonna give you guys a special something, but we want clips of you guys singing the theme song. So all you gotta do is get your webcam out. You can use Vine, if I don't know how to download that, but I'll figure it out, I'm sure. Give me some sort of video file. Email it to the show. Here's the email for the show. Boop, sciencebless@gmail.com is our old thing that we had a long time ago. Do that. We're going to put a big thing together, and we're going to have a big thank you episode for the 100th episode, because that's incredible. You guys are wonderful. And I honestly never thought that we could get this high this quickly. I thought probably it would happen, but I figured we'd have to really, really work. And we have worked, but then Hugo thought we'd get 300. I don't know if you guys remember that fucking episode, but that's ridiculous.
I still think we're gonna max out at 300.
We're gonna lose a lot of support. Then.
We're gonna lose 99.9% of our audience.
I think we could kill puppies on the internet and we'd gain subscribers.
Oh, I guarantee that.
Is there a way to lose that many people?
We could become Christians.
No, because I think that's more interesting. We'd get Christian followers. Anyways,
damn.
In the comment section, type the one thing that would make you, and what you think would make everyone unsubscribe except for those last 300 people, because I think that's interesting. So yeah, film yourself doing the theme song, because that's going to be amazing, and then tell us that. Other than that...
You can follow us on Twitter.
You can, I suppose.
At Hugo Reloaded.
Or at Bible Reloaded.
Been having some fun Twitter conversations recently.
We do that.
Other than that, I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake.
This has been the Bible Reloaded.
And next week...
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.